Hi, my name is Brian Willis. I'm a parishioner at St. Mary's Cathedral in Portland, Oregon, and I come from a Roman Catholic tradition. My family was all Roman Catholics. Grew up in the Midwest in a very large Catholic community. I have two children, and both of them also attend St. Mary's Cathedral. From an interfaith dialogue perspective, it's very much related to the work that I do. I started a program with a colleague of mine to address the needs of women who are in prostitution, many of whom are victims of sex trafficking, and their children. So what we found in the places where we work is that there are a lot of people, including the Catholic Church, working to help victims of human trafficking, but one of the aspects of their lives that's not being addressed is the fact that they're mothers and they have children. So that's what our program focuses on. And we have to do this in a very multi-disciplinary way, working with people in other religions, because we work in other countries, in India, in Nepal, and China, and most recently in Ethiopia. So in order to make this project successful, we have to have a good understanding of the religious tradition and practices and background in the countries where we're working, but also of the women. And also a very acute appreciation of the fact that what happens to these women has a very, very profound impact on them spiritually, and that part of the healing is to help them not only just recover from physical abuse and psychological trauma, but also to recover spiritually.
Yes, my name is Madeline Allen, and I'm a graduate of the MAT program, Master in Applied Theology. I am a Roman Catholic, but my practice covers different religions. And I have a private practice. I have one that is for intuition or psychic work. So I'm a psychic. And the second practice is spiritual direction. So often we have people that come in that are not Catholics. And I find that for me, it's easy to get to that common ground by asking them what they believe in. And sometimes they're so troubled because people often are spiritually sick. And I find that even in the psychic readings, they're spiritually sick and don't believe in God, don't believe in anything, and are angry because their life is going to pot. And so we talk for a while. They never talk about God. And usually by the third month, which is one time a month, they begin to talk about their higher power. And then I know that I've reached them. Because once they begin to talk about their higher power, that lets me know that we are beginning to reach that spiritual point, that there is something greater than themselves or this world. And so that is how I work with people. You find that in time, their life comes back together, the pieces come together, and they feel more comfortable with what's going on in their life. Often the anger disappears almost immediately once they start talking about the higher power. And what's interesting is that not all of them are looking for religion, but they're looking for that belief system that's there. And then they begin to look for a place, a church, that they can attend. And they always say, but I don't want this stuff down my throat. So I give them some names of different kinds of churches and tell them to go visit. And then eventually they find one where they make friends and begin to find more of an understanding of their God, of what they believe in. And then I know I've done my work. The work is a triadic type of work with the Holy Spirit, the person, and myself.
I'm Trudy Bradley. I am a graduate student here at Marylhurst, but I am from the Protestant denomination Disciples of Christ, which is part of the apostolic movement to move back to a more simplistic religious practice. And as a result, we have an open communion table. So I feel that I have always been a part of an ecumenical movement in that we invite all believers to participate in communion. As a result of that, growing up in the Disciples, I've been involved with Ecumenical Ministries of Oregon for a number of years now. But even prior to that, I learned very quickly after a heated argument about religion at a party that I felt my understanding of faith was absolutely the only way to believe. And this engagement was not very nice, and we ended up destroying the whole party. Afterwards, I went back to my home and I called one of our ministers, and I was emphatic that I was right. Does it not say this in the Bible? Am I not right? And the minister told me the most important thing I've ever learned, which was, what does it matter how a person comes? It only matters that they come. Totally shot me down, totally made me reevaluate how I felt, both as an ecumenist and what I thought was an open interfaith person. I definitely was not. I had the opportunity after that to go to school in Europe, and at a time when students were not very interested in religion. So I got that good experience with German students of trying to defend my own faith and realizing that I'm broader than I had thought I was, but nothing compared to what I am now, especially after my education at Maryland First. And I am now working for United Church of Christ Church, and a church that's open and affirming, which is another whole new experience for me. And I believe that's where my ministry will remain, specifically in forgiveness. That I think that's the only way that we can speak with each other, both ecumenically, interfaith, and as human beings, that it takes forgiveness.